Assalamu alaikum. My name is Umar Ahmad Siddiqui, and I'm going to review our assignment which was assigned us by Sir Adil. The paper name was A Survey on Aerial Swarms. It was our MCS final project. Me and my partner Sayyid Talha Shamim have tried our best to understand and present it with our full capacity. Okay, so introduction. The modern world is heading towards autonomous systems, and aerial robotics has become a major area of research and advancements. Okay, with the changing world and increasing air traffic, there is a dire need to explore the methods of aerial systems. To avoid human errors in high traffic areas, we need to establish algorithms and communication channels between aerial vehicles. These are the two statements, two definitions of what can swarms be like. G. Benny, according to G. Benny, cellular robotics is a system composed of autonomous robots that operate in an n-dimensional cellular space without any central entity. The definition of Fukuda is more clear on how aerial swarm works. He uses a swarm as a group of robots, like it is a group of robots that can work like a cell of human body. They function equally, and as a result they can accomplish complex goals. Okay, this is swarms. Swarms are a collection of many UAVs or drones. This is a drone, and a lot of drones can be a dromani. Okay, aerial swarm robotics. Aerial swarm robotics are unmanned aerial vehicles that can operate autonomously. Every individual robot has its processing, communication, and sensing capabilities. Advancement in the field of materials and communication makes way for aerial swarm robotics. It is an important technology. They function through algorithms to achieve complex goals, enable them to communicate with each other effectively, and to plan their trajectory and to accomplish their missions. Okay, difference between aerial and ground swarm robotics. Aerial swarm robotics, they can work in 3D space. Ground swarm robotics, they work in 2D space. Aerial swarm robotics have complex algorithms, and ground swarm robots have a little less complex algorithms. They may have simple algorithms. Okay, these are some characteristics of aerial swarm robotics, 3D and swarm autonomy. The technology of aerial swarm relies on effective communication between aerial robots working in the same 3D environment, performing the same or multiple tasks depending upon the requirement. The notable innovation for swarm is the group of algorithm that enables one individual swarms to communicate with another individual swarm to sync their flights by themselves, plan their direction, and facilitate their journey in such a way that general goals of the swarms are accomplished. 2D traffic flows, fixed routes. 3D have a lot of directions, 6 degrees of freedoms. Next slide. Okay. Scalability through hierarchy and multimodality. For working of swarms on a large scale, require complex and efficient algorithms. The notable innovation for swarms is the group of algorithms that enables one individual swarm to communicate with another individual swarm. Communication is a main factor in aerial swarm robotics, and this can be done extensively like machine learning, and this is also done extensively in machine learning's control fields for dealing with complex and high dimensionality. Characteristics of aerial swarm robotics: hierarchical architecture. Okay, this is a table of how aerial swarms in an hierarchical architecture work. Excuse me. Okay. Models of swarm dynamical systems. This is an equation presented by Craig W. Reynolds for the engineer model for flocking. Next slide. Leader selection and sensor placement. It is very important to assign a leader because it also helps in better communication. If a swarm is taking orders, like say for an from an human operator, it is better just to give the information or orders to the leader than to give information and orders to every single one of them. It is better to just give it to the leader so everyone can follow the leader, and it is more convenient. Background study of stability of swarms. Stability is also a prominent factor in swarms. It is in here. It is an equation. The matrix is called a Laplacian matrix and satisfies the vectors of 1. It is evident that a constant corresponds to a fixed communication topology when the communication topology evolves with time and time varying is used. From here on, my partner Sayyid Talha Shamim will continue.
Thank you, Umar. I hope now you have the basic idea of aerial swarm robotics. So now we will make it more practical and we'll discuss about working and application of swarms in 3D worlds. So first of all, we discuss about the swarm trajectory. So what is trajectory? Trajectory is the motion path that the swarms will take, and to design the trajectories or model the trajectories, we cannot use popular randomized algorithms or rapidly exploring random trees because they are not suitable for 6 degree of freedom aerial robots, as they are less accurate and use numbers randomly. To design the optimal trajectory of swarms, we have to consider a number of things like integrated control effort, maximum single robot travel distance, last arrival time, and total distance or time between the two robots. Like that in the swarms, what is the distance between the two robots, or what the with the what velocity will be traveling. Moving forward, the most important in designing or modeling of controls of swarms is to avoid collisions. Like the in the swarms, the robots must not be colliding with each other. Moving forward, let's discuss about area sensing and monitoring. It is the application of swarms or for which swarms are used. Swarms can be used for multiple of things like mapping of the environment, target search, like a searching of a particular target in the environment, or just for surveillance purposes. As said previously, distributed sensing has three major focal points: targets, space, and maps. In targets, the single area or particular target is the area of consideration of the swarms, and in space, the whole environment. The whole environment in which the swarms are working is the area of consideration. The goal is to collect as much data as possible. And in maps, in a mapping, the swarms not only cover the whole area but also create a contour map of it. So in target search and tracking has two main categories, that is static and dynamic targets, single and multi targets. In static targets, the target is at rest or motionless and the swarms are collecting data from it, and in dynamic targets, the targets are in motion or moving with with some velocity or constant velocity. In the single targets and multi targets, so in multi target has two subcategories, that is targets of known numbers and targets of unknown numbers. So designing the algorithms of the swarms for the known numbers is much easier than the unknown numbers, because in known numbers, the as we all know the how many targets are there, and in unknown numbers it is much difficult because at times the targets outnumber the swarms, so it is much complex and difficult to design the algorithms for it. So as you all know that the drones are mainly used for surveillance and mapping purposes. Surveillance is similar to tracking but it is more area centric, and there is a small difference between surveillance and mapping. Right, in surveillance we just collect the data from the environment and the idea is to cover the as much area as possible, while in mapping we not only cover the environment but also generate contours and maps from the environment. So there are subcategories of mapping: sparse mapping, dense mapping, and lidar based mapping. Sparse mapping is a collection of data from scattered areas, and dense mapping is collection of data more organized form. LiDAR based mapping is another commonly used sensor for mapping applications. So, the full form of LiDAR is light detection and ranging. Is a remote sensing method used to examine the surface of the earth. So, our last and fifth part is technology for swarming. In the recent past, aerial robots has become a hot topic for research and development, and as the hardware and software technology is getting better, it is opening new roads for the development in swarms. A possible greater application of swarms I saw recently was in a movie called Spider-Man Far From Home, in which the villain uses a swarms of robots to create a virtual or fake environment, and from the outside it feels real. So now the swarms are developing their application in cinematic industry as well. As you all know, the most important topic of the nowadays is energy consumption and energy conservation. So power management plays an important role in designing of the swarm robots. So the basic idea of the need is to reduce the launch and landing span of the drones, mobile or static charging, and the health monitoring of the fuel or battery levels, because we want to make the drones or the swarms as efficient as possible. Communication infrastructure. The communication infrastructure plays a huge role in the drone's ability to perform the task in the real world, because the researchers often select the short range but low power consumption communication protocols because it will conserve the energy and increase the flight time, such as Bluetooth, UWB, or standard Wi Fi. For building up the communication infrastructure, they are utilizing other low latency, high reliability, and high bandwidth systems. So, after studying all the things about the swarm robots and getting a know how about the swarms or the upcoming technology of the world, we have to give a small public service message. When life gives you a drone, try not to crash it. Thank you.